Good. So, yeah, hello everyone, and welcome again to With on Cloud ACP course. You belong to the fifth batch, so this is the fifth session that we are running, and this course will mainly focus on taking you through the course content that will enable you to do the AWS practitioner exam. But today we'll be having what I call the welcome and introduction, where we want to know each and every one of you well, and then as well talk about why cloud computing, why we fund cloud, different type of certifications out there. What do you need to be able to succeed as someone getting into the field of cloud computing? For those of you who maybe have attended the past two weekly sessions on Saturday, I'm sure you already have some idea based on the inspiring stories from Shay Timothy, who joined this community 2 years ago and now is working as a senior cloud engineer in the US. And last Saturday, we had Cham, who also joined here about a year and a half ago, and is now working as a infrastructure engineer from focus with AWS Cloud as well. And all of them are at least solutions architect associate certified. So we'll be talking about the course and the content we'll cover. And then, but the real model, which will be 0-1, will start tomorrow, introduction to cloud computing. Yeah. So I encourage all of you, this is the day to ask all the questions that you have regarding this course, and maybe also what we do. And I will still highly recommend that try as much as possible to always attend the Saturday sessions. If you listen to most of the testimonies, you'll see that people get inspired more on Saturday. When we are much more relaxed, we are just sharing stories, we are answering general questions. But within the week is more of the course, focus on the course, because we have that less time to always cover general questions. Yeah. So I'll do a short presentation on this and then take in some questions. So let me get just rolling. Yeah, so the main objectives have that switch: why we from cloud, why career in cloud computing, why get AWS certified, which certification should you do, study material that you need to cover this course, the different communication channels, and then there will be comments on other necessary skills you will need. And then we'll take comments and questions, and then I'll just give some short assignments just to get you active while waiting to come on the session tomorrow. So by the end of this, that is what you should gather, and feel free to stop me at any point if you feel there is something you need to get clarification on. Yeah. So I'll start with why a career in cloud computing, but this quote from Johnson resonates very well on the success on the attitude you need. Success at anything will always come down to this: focus and effort, and we control both, right? If you are getting into the field of cloud computing, being focused is very important. Making the necessary effort that will take you through each step is also very important. And I think anyone in this room has that ability to direct the energy in such a way that he or she is focused, and as well have that determination to make the necessary effort. So think about that as you get into the journey. So let's talk about why are you even involved in the career in cloud computing. In 2020, this was posted in December on the Amazon website. Amazon indicated that it's trying to help 29 million people around the world grow their tech skills with free cloud computing skills training by 2025. So you can just think of Amazon alone is trying to have at least 29 million people train in this technology because there's an ever increase and demand for people with cloud computing skills, and they have put a lot of resources because there's kind of a shortage in people in this area. So a career in cloud computing is promising. It's not one of those things that if you do, you will not have a job. But when I say if you do, because you also need to do it rightly, and that's why we are here to offer orientation as well as mentorship. So so that's one of the major reasons. If you have a, I'll encourage everyone to mute because I'm having an echo. And yeah, I think it was coming from the, yeah, times. Yeah, so you have, if you do it, so getting into cloud computing, the job market is already promising, right? You know, it's a demanding career. So job demand, due to the huge and continuing growth of the take-up of cloud services, there will be ongoing demand for qualified and experienced professionals. So when we talk of cloud computing, it's kind of a new paradigm, and you have all companies moving their in-house kind of IT resources into the cloud. So if you want to think of it, there's still a small percentage of companies that have moved to the cloud. And the truth is, everyone sees that reason to move to the cloud. There will be very few companies who may want to leave some of their IT resources in-house or on premises, but the huge amount of, most of the companies are looking to grow faster by moving their IT resources to the cloud. So if you come to think of all the companies in the world, and this is irrespective of which industry the companies are, so be it healthcare, be it banking, there is always reason and advantages to move to the cloud. So that will mean a huge opportunity in terms of job demand. Skills are globally relevant. So cloud computing providers such as AWS provide services to customers around the world, so you can take advantage of job opportunities globally. For example, if you do cloud computing and you get the certification, it's also a global certification. It's not like it's only a qualification that is recognized in this country, say Germany, or maybe it's recognized in the US, right? Cloud computing certifications are globally recognized. The skills are also globally relevant. So even if you choose to, if you have an opportunity in a different country and you are able to live there, you still have that opportunity to continue with your career. You won't be worried about your certification. The skills are globally relevant. Rewarding career paths. If you have a passion for technology, working in cloud computing will be one of the most exciting and rewarding careers opportunities. Yeah, it could be rewarding and very satisfying if computer and technology is something you like, right? Looking at the way IT was before cloud computing, it was much more challenging back in the days. Um, when I just used to think of how much time it used to take just to, let's say, get an approval to have a new server running, or to have when VM came on in 20 from around 2010 coming upwards, just getting a VMware machine to use, it used to take quite a number of days to have that approval, and at times it will go a week or two. But today, in 5 minutes, if you're using cloud computing, 1-2 minutes, you can have a machine running for a department. So that means very huge kind of an ease in the approach to technology, unlike before. Talking about salaries, yeah, it's great. Cham was talking on Saturday, and he said that if he had even worked for 4 years to be a certified accountant, which was something he was considering, he would still not have a salary that he has now, after putting effort for a year or more, a year and a half. So just think about that. If you think of Shea Timothy, who was here, he still pointed out that he has a 6-figure salary in the US, and that's after putting 2 years of work. So if you, one of the AWS consultants, a lady who joined us sometime here to give inspiration once said that one of the reasons with cloud computing is when she was doing accounting, I think was financing in a company, and she was surprised how most of the IT staff were earning so much. And that's what motivated her to get into cloud computing. And today she works for AWS, and she says the motivation, even if you are slowing down in your motivation, let the salary be the reason why you can't stop. So our reason is to make the maximum out of the time that we put. And yeah, if salary is also a motivation for you, then this is also a great place to start. So yeah, I think that helps you understand a little, yeah, have at least some background on why cloud computing, why should you be interested. Maybe some of you have your reasons, and maybe I should leave it a bit open here. Is there anyone who has a comment they want to bring in? Why maybe you are joining to do this course on cloud computing? If there's something else to add. Yeah, if not, that's fine. We can keep that going. Why we from cloud? Yes, go ahead, Napoleon.
I think there must be a reason for everyone seated here, so I'll just say mine.
That's fine.
Yeah, I think out here we've learned more about IT, seeing how IT is being taking an integral part of our lives, and as you've said, everything is now, people are moving their stuffs to cloud, and the demand, you see the job opportunities as you've just highlighted. So I was thinking about that. Sometimes you're like, okay, this an opportunity. I'm a geologist by profession, and I look at it, but then it takes a huge, it's capital intensive. You need a lot of money in order to do that. And studying now, I don't have that money yet. So, but we from cloud is offering this opportunity. You start something without paying. So I look at it to be something that I should engage in, because my plan was to maybe when I have a job here, and then maybe in 1 or 2 years I raise some capital before I engage on this. But given that we from cloud is offering this free of charge, why don't I just try? So that's why I'm here. Thank you.
Great, good to know. Taking great advantage of this opportunity. Yeah, no, good to know. And that's what I like about cloud computing. The other thing is anyone with any background, as long as you can read, cloud computing is for you. Yeah. So it's always interesting knowing people coming from different backgrounds in education and getting successful in cloud computing. Anyone else wants to add something?
Yes.
Mhm.
I would like to really appreciate this platform. Really, I'm actually a student here in Deutschland, so I'm already in my last semester, and I'm doing masters in technical logistics. So, and we know logistics, I came to realize that AWS could be very important. And lucky enough, I already have interest in it, and where I do part-time work in Düsseldorf, I have one friend from Philippines. He was like, he's a close friend. He was like doing cloud computing, AWS. I was like, really? And what do you do? He's not a student. He's just someone that just work. And I was like, if this person can have this ambition of doing cloud computing, he said, yes, I have ambition of, after finishing this program, I think I'll work tomorrow with Amazon. And I was like challenged within my own self. I said, okay, I'm a student and I have that courage to face other challenges as other support courses are concerned. Why not me immediately? So I was connected with a friend this past Saturday. I think maybe you might know him. He's also here in Essen by name Nasser. So
Okay, yeah.
we had something to do, and at the end of the day, he was following this program and we're doing other things with my thesis actually. So I said, but what program is that? Then he tried to explain to me. I said, but how can I catch up? I think it's interesting if it's AWS. That is when he said, okay, I'll link you immediately to WePhone. And that is how I came to know that I'm just, to me, it's just like a blessing, and it pushed because it has already been in my mind that I have to do this AWS before I complete my study by April. So
Okay.
that is just my own push. Thank you.
No, that's very great. Nice to know that, and we'll talk more again, especially on that's we have the push that has given you to get into cloud computing, and thanks to NASA, he has also been here, and I think he was doing a different. I know he was doing something else, engineering, and also got into this group, then got doing AWS. I think he's solutions architect certified now as well, very active in the lab sessions. So yeah, it's great. He helped you see the reason to be here. Yeah. So let me just continue on why we found cloud if there is no other comment. And then once I finish this, it won't take long. I would like to hear more again from every other person, if why cloud computing for you, and maybe how you also got here. Yeah. No, thanks for that. So why we from cloud? We from cloud, as some of you already know, is community-driven effort to help support members of our communities to find an easy path in the field of cloud computing. That is the key thing, right? And we do this by offering mentorship, career advice, and orientation. That is what is seriously lacking. And we know from my experience, I know what other communities do. There's a huge, when I was talking about the Indians, I know they have lots of communities similar like this. And that's why most of their people ascend very fast in the field of cloud computing. I'm based here in Germany. I've attended a couple of events organized by Germans, and of course, trying to run also similar efforts for their communities. And when we started, this was just about 8 people. Started for, first of all, as cloud careers with Dr. Xian, where we were more of just trying to talk about cloud computing and the fact that it's possible for everyone to get a career in cloud. Then later on, this became Move on Cloud. Um, Dr. Xian runs another program, Tech Equity, that is also striving to help everyone who is people who are also interested in cloud, but in a much more different advanced scale. But this is absolutely like for beginners. I mean, and then also it's absolutely free. And the main mission for We Fund Cloud is to make cloud computing fashionable for all. So irrespective of what you are doing, you shouldn't be shy, you shouldn't be worried um, about let's say you are you capable. Some people start thinking, I don't have a science background, I don't know how to use computers. If you There are many people who came here had no computing background. Some even say using a mouse was something difficult for them, but all of them have gone ahead and had certifications. So it's going to be fashionable for all, and it should be something that if you are going to be proud, or if you want to talk and say, like so you want to show off, right? Here we say if you want to show off, just show us the certifications you have, right? There's no need, if you don't make that, yeah, then you still have to catch up. And there are 3 recommended steps that we have at WeFund Cloud to become cloud hired. Right, so I will just list and talk about them. So if you are on WeFund Cloud, the key thing is at the end of the day, you become cloud hired. Cloud hired means you have a job in the field of cloud computing. The very first thing is knowledge, right? You need the training. And after the training, you need to have the certifications. We've offered some people take so much time to assist. Remember, this is done after we do this 5:30 to 7, and then after that, everyone has to prepare and go for their own job. So every instructor that will be helping you out here have full-time jobs that they are taking, that they are doing. So we offer this training, and the best that you can also give back at the end of the training is to make sure that you do your certifications. That is something that after some people take training, they become very shy, or they are worried, or they don't see a reason to do the certification. But then if you do that, then the effort of all the instructors is almost gone to waste, because everyone is encouraged and really taken care of here. And the best you can give back is doing your certification. And for with on cloud, the courses that we have, practitioner, associate architect, and the professional architect. That is the path and least courses that we have covered so far. Maybe tomorrow we'll have other courses, but for the moment, after almost 3 years in existence, we've been able to have the AWS practitioner, associate architect, and the professional architect. And in the field of cloud computing, I'll just comment on this. There are many cloud certifications, but at the beginning, you need just one provider that you understand. So I'll recommend that if you start with AWS, don't start and going to Google and trying to do a certification in Google. Don't start running to Azure because you think that, okay, let you do, but Azure, right? You will overwhelm yourself, you will get confused, and you will not be focused. So the first thing I would just like to advise all of you already here doing AWS as a beginner is stay with AWS for at least 6 months to a year, and make sure that you learn deep to understand what are things like IAM. The courses we offer will cover that. IAM is identity and access management. Understand what is compute, understand what is networking, understand what is storage, high availability, and disaster recovery. These are the core concepts that if you understand in any cloud, if you want tomorrow to go and look into Google Cloud, you realize that these same things exist there, but in different names. So the first thing I will recommend for everyone starting a journey in cloud computing is pick a cloud provider and speak its language. And speaking its language means going deep to understand these key core services. Once you understand those core services, you have a very solid foundation in your journey. And those core services, you can understand them from the practitioner, associate, and associate architect. If you want to, if after the solutions associate architect, you want to go deep to work as an architect, maybe you can go to the professional certification architect. Or if it's just something due to a shared determination you want to continue, then you can go for the professional certification. So that's step one. You need to have that. Step two is hands-on. Hands-on. This will be lab sessions, and that will be as well as doing presentations. For hands-on, we have now what we call WIFON Cloud Labs. We introduced that just 2-3 weeks ago. And the key thing is, apart from doing the theory, you need to learn how to build a thing on the cloud, not just doing theory. Maybe, for example, stand up an SQL server on AWS, try to automate something, maybe use Terraform, reproduce something in the cloud, and ask yourself, can you do AWS RDS, that's relational database services? If yes, how? So those are, WIFON Cloud Labs try to give you that opportunity to take the theoretical knowledge and start really getting your hands dirty. I'm sure that what Desmond was observing NASA do was when he was attending one of the lab sessions, probably on Tuesday or Thursday. So that is step two. But for all of you in the practitioner, if you go through the WIFON Cloud Labs, they may be challenging now because they're a bit advanced. So what we have for the practitioner is there will be lab sessions on Fridays, and that will always be announced when necessary, where you will do very basic labs to get started. For example, creating your AWS account. That can be an assignment that you can all try to do, but then in the session, we'll take you how to create an AWS account for a start. So for the practitioner course, I recommend that if you attend those sessions and they are heavy, or I will say if you are not very confident, no need to go there on a Tuesday and Thursday. You can just stay back concentrating on the material that you have. But then on Friday, say Fridays, not every Friday, we'll start with labs that are of a level of a complete beginner to help you get orientated, and then you can then be joining those sessions. The next step to get certified, beside, I forgot one thing here because you notice I had presentation. When you do the cloud practitioner, in these sessions, we'll have complete, you have instructors that will be taking you through the material, right? So you won't really be bothered. But when you move to the solutions architect associate, you'll be expected to do presentations on particular topics. If you did listen to Cham, if you do listen to Shay Timothy, they will tell you how important this has been in their own journey and how it helped them to understand some of the things better. So we'll also try in step 2, when you are doing the solutions architect associate, to help you build your presentation skills in case you don't have them. Step 3 is what we have also introduced called with on clouds projects, where you tend to have teamwork and build some experience. With on cloud projects, the first pioneer group will be finishing soon, has been running for about 3 months. And we look at projects that stand out where you're in a groups of maximum 5 people working in agile mindset. And then after they finish, they'll do presentation to us one of the Saturdays. And to join this group, you need at least the AWS Associate Solutions Architect level of knowledge, right? So, so that is for you people, it will come later. So when you have had the AWS Solutions Architect, you can then be thinking of joining this. So those are the key 3 steps that are highly recommended if you want to be cloud hired by Wifon Cloud. If you follow all of these things, and the other things which we always talk about is building an attractive LinkedIn profile. We've had some sessions encouraging people on getting their CVs. There's still a recording on how to build your CV from Google sometime. Maybe I'll reshare that. But as time goes on, you need to think of how to build a CV that can be attractive to recruiters. The next question is, why get AWS certified? Yeah, certifications are fashionable here. We have said that, but certifications are a great way to demonstrate your skills to potential employers or to get a promotion into your target job role. So if you notice, most of the jobs description, they always list, the type of certifications that they will need there. So the first thing is, certifications would demonstrate that you have skills to potential employers, but certifications alone, as we'll stress, is not enough, right? You need more behind that certification. So certifications may help take you to an interview, but how you perform at the interview will be determined by things like the hands-on skills that step 2, which was hands-on skill presentations, or step 3, which are cloud projects. What can you do? Yeah, you've passed the exam, but what can you do? That is very crucial. Why get AWS? Yeah, now AWS is also is dominating the world of cloud computing, right? It remains the biggest provider out there. Of course, you have Google, you have Azure, Oracle Cloud is also coming. But AWS remains one that is very, that dominates the field of cloud computing at the moment. So doing AWS certifications just with that reason can also help position you well. Again, as I said, it doesn't mean that if you do Google Cloud or if you do Azure or Oracle, you won't get a job. All these certifications and all these providers are also attractive. But at Wifon Cloud, at the moment, we've built a very solid base for those who want to get AWS certified. And then bearing in mind, as I've advised earlier, if you pick one cloud provider, stay on it. Make sure you build a solid foundation on it before you want to move to others. Let's talk a little bit about the different certifications that are available, right, in AWS, because the thing is, which certification should you do? And this will depend largely on your background and where you are coming from. I'll explain why. For example, if you're a complete beginner, you don't know what the cloud is, your background is not in IT, you've never, then the practitioner definitely is where you start from, right? And that is the course that we'll be covering will be the practitioner. Um, After you will complete this, the target will also be that by the end of this year, December 31st, all of you should be certified. If you attend all the sessions, if you follow all the tutorials and the revision sessions that we'll have, you will be able, because within that time frame for the past batches that we have had, we have been able to have people certified. So when you do the cloud practitioner, you have the option to either do the solutions architect associate, do the sysops administrator, or do the developer certification. The solutions architect associate gives you a much more deeper understanding on how to build things in AWS, right? So if you want to be an architect or you want to have a little bit deeper knowledge on AWS, on how things are built in AWS, this is highly recommended. If you are enjoying the hands-on and you want to be more of operations, like you just like to get things working, you just want to operate as what is referred to as a cloud engineer, then a sysops administrator certification can be another option. And my experience I can share with you is that when I did the solutions architect and during my solutions architect associate, I was doing a lot of hands-on. And when I came to do the SysOp administrator certification, to be very honest, I didn't really prepare for it. I had a voucher that was running out, and I actually went to the exam just to make sure that that voucher doesn't expire for nothing. And I had not had time to prepare, but I was able to pass the exam because the hands-on that came on there were something familiar to me. So in doing the solutions architect, I've had, with the effort I did put, I was already ready for this exam. That's why I will continue to stress that as you are, if you do your hands-on very well, be it as a practitioner and then as a solution architect, this exam will be very easy because at the exam, they actually give scenarios where you have to configure something. If you have an IT background and something like programming is something you already know, you are working as a software developer, there are many concepts that are not in programming that are not new to you. Developers associate can also be an alternative for you. So someone who is already in IT and knows that I want to be a developer, you already have a developer background and you are just seeing cloud as a means of improving, of taking the developer knowledge you have on maybe doing on-premises to the cloud. This may be just a comfortable certification for you. But my recommendation for everyone, if you listen to different authors, they have different views. Some people even say the cloud practitioner certification is not important. But I always say that it's a good start. It makes you actually understand what cloud is. It's also, if you study it well, you have a short time to complete the associate architect. And after you do this, you really have a very good understanding of how things are built in AWS. And if you decide to do any of these certifications and maybe go to, say, the DevOps engineer role, that's very possible. If you do this and you feel like being a solutions architect professional is something you want to be onto, you can also move this direction. So the recommendation here is do the practitioner, go to the solutions architect associate, and then from here, decide how far, which direction you want to go. Yeah. For some people, when they do the developer, there are people who have a data science background. They are working like data specialists already, maybe on premises. Some of them, after doing the cloud practitioner and maybe solutions architect associate, easily go to the data analytics. There are some people who have good background in databases, and the cloud is just, just seeing how they can run um, databases in the cloud. Once they have the solutions architect associate, some of them can easily do the database specialty. Some people may be having a very good networking background. This will be a very easy exam. No, when I say easy, it's not that you just walk in and pass it, but the effort that you put will be much more less compared to someone who has never had a networking background. The same with those who have a cybersecurity certification and just want to use security. These are easy ones. So there are these specialty certifications in AWS, and if you don't yet know, if you are somewhere here and you don't yet know where you want to be, or after you do the solutions architect, as you said, depending on your comfort and where you want to specialize. If some people may want to pick networking security, or maybe you have a job where there is now demand in this area, some people may want to do that certification. The same goes for machine learning. People do data analytics at times with machine learning, combine that together. And then there's also Alexa skill builder. I don't really know much about this certification, but I have a link on all AWS certifications from the site, which I'll share on our chat and as well as on our forum later on for you to look into. Yeah. So those are the certifications that are available. And if you've been listening, that's not all, right? When you have these certifications, those alone, there may be certain things that you need. Some for in cloud, some fundamental knowledge of Linux, fundamental knowledge of Python. In some cases, if you are especially going to be an infrastructure engineer, or if you are in a company where they are using a lot of infrastructure as code, Terraform may be important. Another thing here is CloudFormation or CDK. I didn't include that here, but we just listed some of the things you have. You had agile project management, we've talked about that. For those who are attending the Saturday sessions, we did talk about Scrum. And if you did hear again from Shay Timothy, just as Charm, these are all some concepts that when you have, they stand out or they differentiate you from the crowd, right? And we have the Scrum project, but as the Scrum course that will be starting soon. And then just to go back again about not overwhelming yourself, right? Take a time to learn a particular skill. So maybe you focus now on the practitioner. After you have done that, you are satisfied, you do the solutions architect, as you said. And then maybe if you feel that you like to know more about Scrum, especially when we are doing the project works, it will be, you have that exposure. And if you want to do a certification in it, that will be a big plus. Soft skills play a big role, developing soft skills, developing team skills, how to work in teams, being able to do very good presentations in such a way that people can listen to you and be convinced can be very crucial in an interview. Being able to articulate what you have learned, be it in IAM, maybe be it in compute, it's very, very important. So the encouragement here is develop soft skills, right? Yeah, this is very important. I think that's a general advice in almost every field. And there's a link here on when you receive this PDF file, which I'm presenting today, just go through this link. There are some, when you click that link, it will open up. There are some courses. Some of them are free, and it will be an opportunity that maybe later on, if you are thinking of picking of doing one of the courses we have mentioned, at least there is like a Linux course here offered by Code Cloud. It's a very good course that can help you start improving your Linux skills. So they say just take a look at on this and look at the comments that have been filled in here by our community lead. And then if you have questions, just always come back to us then on Saturday, or write or ask on the forum, and that will be taken care of. So just remember to look at this list. Yeah. Now, in terms of study material you will need, we'll be providing that. Make sure that you're in our Telegram group. I already assume everyone is in the group. Then the supplementary material that you get is, of course, if you can afford the Udemy course by Stefan Marek, The link to that course is also here. When you click, you have that. I highly recommend that you have that course. Revision for the exam, we'll use Tutorials Dojo. We have Tutorials Dojo here, and we'll always go through the questions. When we finish the course, we'll then do revision a couple of times um, until we see that everyone is confident. When you take, you can, but if you can afford Tutorials Dojo, yeah, that is also fine. Maybe for your own revision as we go along. But this will almost come at the end when when we're about to complete the course. Yeah, we'll anyway highlight at some point when maybe when you should buy it. Yeah, communications, we have said Telegram group, and if you are using your laptop, and if you can download the Telegram desktop edition, and so that you are not using your phone, I can guarantee you that it will be a much more better resource, right? So think about downloading Telegram on your laptop, for example. Will ease, when we share material, you just need to just download it straight to your computer. You don't need to maybe be forwarding it from your uh, mobile phone to your emails and then downloading it as well. Zoom will always be used for our our sessions, and as I say, the recordings will be going to our YouTube channel that will be made public. And I want to recommend that everyone should also make sure that you subscribe to our YouTube channel, so that when we upload a video, I've shared the link to that YouTube channel. We upload a video, you are immediately informed. There are about 241 subscribers, but we have about 300 people, 350 people in the forum. So just make sure that you are subscribed, and yeah, continue to share the information for others who may need it. Saturday sessions are highly recommended. I mentioned that. That's where you're going to have more inspiration. That's where you get to know people. I encourage networking with those in the forum, those you are studying with. Yeah, that is key. And with on cloud, where as you're studying here, make sure that here we are trying to help you get orientated and focused, right? So as you are having that focus, also be looking out as what is available. Say, for example, if there are some events that are happening, you can then know that this is my area. Let me look at that event and attend. There are many online events on different that always come up. You have like AWS. AWS event, every event is something that's been going online for the past time, and I'm sure it's getting more physical. Now, since COVID is away, AWS summits, that happens in almost every city around the world. In most of the cities, not every cities, each country will always have that. Unfortunately, not for Africa yet. I've never seen AWS Africa. Hopefully that comes up, and for those back in sub-Saharan Africa, they can also make good use of that. But if you're in Europe, these are free. In Germany, it's always in Berlin. It's always in Brussels. For those in Belgium, in America, I see it happens across different states. They are always free. If you're into cloud, these are places where you go, and it helps in your inspiration. Yeah, skills you need for study and work. So yeah, to study cloud computing, you have to be curious and have a strong learning mindset. And in doing that, I trust you. One thing is we always say from cloud, there is no stupid question, right? If you are having a question in mind and you are feeling like your question is stupid, please ask it. It's not stupid, right? Because it is in asking those questions, it is coming out. The field of cloud computing, as we say, it's not been long. It's been here. I mean, AWS started in 2006. Before companies started adopting cloud, when I heard about cloud in 2011, that was the time I was going for some interviews at AWS. I did not just know what they were talking about, right? I just sat there. They were showing some AWS console. I didn't really understand what they were talking about. So right in 2011, there was not much happening. Where I was working, VMware was, that's virtualization was the hottest certifications at the time, doing Linux and doing VMware certifications, almost up to around 2015. It's around 2016 that out of a sudden, there's just been a skyrocket in the way the demand of cloud has gone. So it's still very young, and many people are still learning, and there are still many questions to be answered, to be asked, and your question can never be stupid, right? So make sure you ask your questions, no matter how you feel about them. You have to have strong time management skills. I'm sure many of you are doing something else and trying to do this. So if you cannot manage your time, yeah, you may spend so much time studying and let's struggle at some point. Ability to make clear decisions. Cham did a good presentation on Saturday. Be able to identify early on, what do you want to do with this cloud? Do you want to be an architect? Do you want to be a DevOps engineer? Do you want to work more in the database area? Do you want to be an infrastructure? Do you want to be an infrastructure architect? So look around and be able to, those are decisions you will make on your own. And to be able to make those decisions, you have to put some time and understand what is DevOps, right? What does it need? What do you need to do that? What is a solutions architect, right? What are the skills you need to build? To be that, what does it take to be working maybe as a database, supporting clients databases in the cloud. So once you make that clear decision, you can then build on it, and it will help you learn a role much more faster. Yeah, there are some videos here that I will recommend. I don't want to take the time now, but if we can watch that, they're just about 3 minutes. But if we are not able to watch them here, you can then watch them later on. Just 3 minutes, 4 minutes video from AWS. And then there will be some reading assignments that could just help you get started. We'll cover the material tomorrow, but I've just put that here for those who have the time and for those who are motivated to at least have something to be looking at maybe today and before we come tomorrow. Yeah, so any questions on the presentation I've made? Or something else that I didn't cover you were expecting in this session?
Hello.
Yes, Napoleon.
I have a question, but it doesn't relate to anything. I think your presentation is spot on. And the question is, you mentioned that cloud computing is not yet extended to Africa. And
Go ahead.
yeah. So I wanted to ask, what is the future of someone who is in Africa or in Cameroon in particular, and who might have interest in AWS, and then is not able to travel? Can someone who is based in Cameroon have a future and in AWS or in cloud computing and have a job?
Okay, no, good question. I think I was saying that AWS is not, we don't have summits, right? You know, like when you think of AWS summit, you have it here in Europe, it's in America, but you don't have AWS summits in Africa yet. But it does not mean that cloud computing is not present in Africa. Yeah, there are quite a good number of companies that are also using the cloud. And yeah, and then regarding the job for those who are maybe based in any country in sub-Saharan Africa, there is also potential. We have one guy here who also joined us. So among those who early had a job, and he's working as an AWS instructor in Congo, but he's based in Cameroon, so he works remotely, right? Remember, as we said, AWS is trying to train so many people. So just training, and if you have very good training skills, there are opportunities. So he's based in Cameroon, but he's working as a trainer for another company in Congo. Then the other thing about jobs, is there's what we call remote job is something that is coming to stay, and it's something that is very common in the field of IT and cloud computing as well. So what's going to happen, and it's already happening, is there are, irrespective of where you'll be based, you'll be able to have a job anywhere in the world. Here, what I mean is if you have very good cloud computing skills and you are based in Cameroon, tomorrow you may be sitting in Cameroon and working for a company in the US, right? You don't need to be looking just around Cameroon. And that's why I've been encouraging those based in Cameroon not to be discouraged. The first thing is, if you are able to, if you are good in cloud computing, the first thing is you can also be a trainer, because there are many people who need to be trained. And then the other thing is, don't just wait for a job. There are many things you can do. For example, there's a guy in Uganda, Watson, he joins us, and he's been telling me that the problem that you have lawyers struggling with is, what do they do with the huge files that they have, right? You remember, these things, they are stored, they have cases that are stored in, and unpacked, and if there's fire, all of this, is gone. But someone who understands, let's say, storage in AWS very well, you can come up with solutions. And if you have a solution that works for lawyers, say in Cameroon, it will definitely work for lawyers in any other country around you, because there are always similar challenges. So maybe just finding a way of how to digitalize these files, and then how to move them, for say, into S3, into S3, right? For example, S3 is a storage service for files, like for object files. So that's one thing I keep encouraging those in Cameroon. Like, if you have these certifications, and as you are studying, be having a mindset of how you can go out and convince businesses to see the use of this. Because the other thing is, there are some businesses who don't even know that cloud computing can reduce their cost, right? So there's a future for people who are in sub-Saharan Africa, who quickly understand this technology, and who quickly understand how it can help transform businesses, and then go out there and make business understand it. Because if we don't do it, what will happen is you have companies coming from Europe and doing that same job, right? Offering the same services, because that's what always happens. You see a company come, and just because it's from Germany, just because it's from America, will come and be carrying a task that anyone in Cameroon could have done, but it's just that they didn't have that vision to start it. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Any other question? Silas, I think you
Yeah.
have one.
Yes, I think I have a question. It's regarding what you just said about other skills you will need. So it's just about the link. Are you going to send all this in the group, like where we can get to Linux, Python, Terraform? And then one thing too, are we being encouraged to get this other minor courses while we do the AWS course, or it's something we're going to do at the end of the certification? Or
Good question. If that link, first of all, that link, the PDF file that I've just presented will be shared to the forum. So that's what we'll always do. We'll always share the recording. We'll always share the PDF. And then from that PDF, you'll be able to access that link. And on that link, you'll see that we have some comments. Let me see, kind of recommendation of when you can start doing that. If you are completely new in the cloud, the recommendation, of course, will be that you do that after, right? So if you look, for example, Docker here, if you just want to understand what Docker is, recommended after the AWS practitioner course, right? Same as JSON path here, the same as Kubernetes here. These are words that if you get into now, you will getting confused. If you see Jenkins here, after the Solutions Architect Associate course, Terraform after the practitioner course, because if you get to Terraform, you won't be able. So there are some comments to kind of guide you. And it doesn't also mean that immediately after the practitioner course, you just register for 4 or 5 courses and try to do them immediately. You can start with one, complete it, and make sure you kind of have an understanding of what you have done. And then, progress one after the other. So kind of have a plan, like after your practitioner certification, okay, maybe you spend 2-3 months. This course is cannot take you up to a month if you are the Docker course, because it's just a brief introduction. The same as JSON part here, you can space about 2-3 hours, but it's just to some basic things that you should learn. But the key thing is not to finish it, is to understand what you've covered. So even though it may be 3 hours, depending on your understanding level, you may need to look at it about 2, 3, or 4 times and really have a grasp of it, or you'll be understanding it better as you are moving into the cloud, because there may be things that, okay, you know them, but when you'll be encountering them, the understanding will be better. Yeah. So,
Thank you.
yeah, you're welcome. So you have this, and then you'll be able to pick on that. Yeah, good question.
I have a question.
Yes, Christian, go ahead.
How long are we taking this session before we start thinking of doing like the certification for the practitioner?
Okay, good question, which leads me to the schedule. Let me pull the schedule here so that you see. Okay, so let me share my screen again. Right, yeah, so today we are at module 0, welcome and start. And as you can see, I'm presenting that. Tomorrow we'll have module 1, cloud computing, introduction to cloud computing. I also handle that. And then next week we are on identity and access management. You have me doing that, and then global infrastructure. Tata will be doing that. That is with from cloud team lead. We have compute in the cloud. Veronica Tamo, who is joining us today, will be doing that. Pricing and support. Our community team lead, Tekla, will be handling that. Is how it's coming to part 1 and part 2. And immediately we finish this one, we'll have a kind of a course test, right? This is just to make sure that we see where there are gaps and we see how all of you are understanding, and try to start supporting you early if you are struggling. This is something that was introduced in the past batch. The first, second, third batch didn't have this luxury, but we realized that introducing this earlier on and start seeing where everyone is and ensuring that everyone goes through the course is important. If someone is struggling, the presenters and all the instructors in Wifon Cloud are also acting as mentors, right? So this complete schedule, I can share it with all of you. You see it runs through till the well-architected framework is completed in 15th of November, right? So this is only done Monday, Tuesday, 1 hour, 30 minutes each day. So you have enough time to revise, and then some Fridays we'll have labs. Like this week, we will not have lab, but I can already foresee that next week we'll have lab sessions on Friday. So Monday and Tuesdays will be dedicated on that. Then we'll do revisions. We'll start with revision every Monday and Tuesdays from the 20th of November. And the course will end by the 20th of December. And we want to encourage everyone to start taking exams by the 10th. What has happened from our past experience is that by the time we do revision, right up to the second, third week, there are already some people who are already, you can see that they are already competent, right? And especially those who maybe have the tutorial dojos and are also practicing, because we do that Monday and Tuesday. So if you are also dedicating time and doing it on the other days, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, you will be catching up much more faster. So by the 10th of December, we'll be encouraging everyone to, people to start going for the exam. And if someone we recognize, if you for some reason you are doubting, we may then say, okay, hold on, by the 20th of December, we'll end the revision. And by that time, we could have covered, and we'll actually say, go for the exam if you haven't. And what we'll be doing is, what happens is that in each course here, after each module, there will be questions, and there will be questions to test your knowledge and understanding. And most of these questions will reflect the same way exams questions may look like, right? The difficulty level of those questions will be the same difficulty level you meet in the exam. So, so that is the thing. So while we do each module, we'll be revising immediately for each module. So that's why, and then by the time you are coming to the course test here, you could have had revision for pricing and support, compute in the cloud, global infrastructure. You will have had questions that will have the same difficulty level you have in the exam. And so by the time we are finishing, if you continue to revise your material and make sure that the questions you have, you feel you are already understanding why, not just knowing the answer, but trying to understand why is it that you failed it. If you want to go back and read the material, or if you have questions to ask the instructors, that will be helpful. So yeah, I hope I covered your question and added a little bit more, Christian. Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, any other question?
Yeah, I have a, sorry, is someone still talking?
No, Desmond, you are free to come in.
Okay, thank you once more again. I want to, sorry, I might be too fast with this question, but it's more related to, yeah, it's more related to the exam. So with the exam, is there a specified institution, or you be the one to tell us where exactly to get registered and maybe within your own area? Or is it online, something of that sort?
Yeah, very good question. Yeah, AWS certifications exams, you can take them online, or you can take them in an institution around you. For those who are mostly in America, Europe, it's easy to always find an institution around you offering that exam. And then for those, you can also do it online, but the recommendation that I always have for, if you have never done IT exams, especially if it's your first time, the recommendation is go to a center, right? Because when you are doing it from home, there are a lot of criteria that you have to meet. And if it's your first time, you may struggle. And once you don't get it right, you are either, the exam is either stopped, or yeah, they won't let you complete. There are a lot of, for example, you have to show your table. It has to be clear. You cannot be talking. You have to make sure that your camera is focused. You can't go, for example, use the toilet during the exam. So some of those things can put a lot of stress preparing. And if you log in late, they can make you have wet palms, so to say. So the recommendation will be for you to go in an institution. And if you go to AWS to register for an exam, that's something we'll also show you how to do. And then depending on the area where you are, we'll also show you uh, how to pick an institution that is around you. Because if you are, for example, in Mulheim, you see a list of, I know sometimes I know there's institutions in Essen. And once you pick that institution and register, it just goes to them, and all you need to do is show up on that institution on the date you are registered. They already know you are coming, and you also already have a seat where to take the exam. Yeah. And there, if something happens technically, they will be the one in charge. There, if you want to go to the toilet, it's okay. They will, of course, see you going in and out. And yeah, you won't have the stress compared to if you are doing the exam at home. But that's something we'll cover, how to register and take exams. It will be one of the points we'll also cover during the course.
All right, thank you.
Great. Yeah, I have not heard from Mustafa. And it was nice to see you joined.
Thank you, Uncle Ban. Hi,
Yes.
everyone.
Hi, right. So we have a recording of what you did miss, and you can catch up on that later, yeah?
Thank you.
Welcome. Any question from your end, or any clarification that you may need? If any, please come.
Yeah, my question is about this journey. After how many years, if you want to be a cloud architect professional or DevOps professional, after how many years you can obtain your certificate?
Okay. To obtain the certification, depending on, well, first of all, depending on how much time you have to put in, right? So let me give you an example for what has happened here. There are some people who started with the practitioner, and then after 2-3 months, they had the practitioner certification, and then did the solutions architect associate and had that, say, after 6 months, right? And then did another 6 months and had the professional solutions architect professional. So that's almost about a year, 2-3 months. You can have that. So, but the key, yeah. So if you are just studying for the certifications, you can do. It's possible that in 1 year, you can start with the practitioner, and in 1 year you have the professional architect. So it would depend largely on your time, your level of understanding, what you already have. For things like DevOps, if you did listen to Shay Timothy, after doing the solutions architect associate, he did a bootcamp for almost, I think it's 6 months, on which it was just pure on DevOps. So that is something that in the community here, we don't have the resources to offer that now. But yeah, he took that extra effort, and that's why I was recommending, if you realize that you want to do DevOps, then you look at what maybe we are not able to cover, and then we'll always share resources here that can be helpful, and then you may cover that somewhere else. So how long you take, if you've worked, if you work towards the DevOps part, you may need to do Linux will be an important tool to have. You need to understand a lot about CI/CD pipelines. Those are terms that you will learn, and depending on the time, the time will vary from one person to another. But if you make the effort, yeah, that doesn't really matter. You arrive there. Yeah, you arrive there.
Thank you.
Yeah, good. Mustafa, I've not heard from you. At least say something. Let's hear.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, yeah.
How's everyone doing?
Good.
No, I didn't have anything to say. I didn't have anything
Okay, you are covered, right? That's good.
I'm just clear with everything you have been saying.
Okay, now that's good. Just want to make sure that you are covered. What about you, Kennedy? Kennedy, read one or take law.
Yeah, good morning, everyone. Sorry, I'm already at work, so that's why I didn't also
Okay.
say something. But I follow everything you guys are saying, and I'm in truck, so I'm really impressed with you, Ban, and all the way from Belgium. So it's unfortunately for my work, I started a bit earlier. So, but like you said, I'll follow some of the classes maybe when you pop them up at the YouTube. So, but I will do my best. I'm really motivated, and I'm happy for everything you're doing.
Great. Now that's nice to know. And yeah, that's some of the sacrifices that come in at times. Yeah, no, it's so good. The recordings, once they're up, you can always catch up. Yeah, good. Yeah. Yeah, maybe, I don't know, Vero, if there's something I left out that you may want to come in. Yeah, please feel free.
Hi, Ban. No, you did capture a lot of what is needed, at least for an introduction, and I really don't have much to add. And on the point of exam and all of that, like if you can take it on site, or I mean at the center or at home. Again, of course, if for some people, if you can't really, if you're living very far from a center or from an exam, from a place where the exam can be offered on site, you can always still have it at home. It's not like you can't, but then you have to make sure that you have very good bandwidth of your internet. That's, I mean, that also helps that you might not get into technical issues when you have a very good internet bandwidth. That can help. Not for someone to panic now that, oh, I don't have an exam center around me, or I have to go 2 hours or 4 hours to get there. You can always still have it at home, but you need to really have good specifications, and your system will be tested. So a good internet bandwidth is what you really need before any other thing comes. So yeah, thanks, Ban.
Okay, thanks for that. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Right. Any other question, clarification? We've covered, as I said, it was welcome getting to know all of you. And yeah, just trying to lay some kind of foundation. Yeah. Silas, are you comfortable? You're thinking? Yeah, still on mute.
Yeah, I'm good. I was just like trying to think if we can have a center here in the UAE, but still like Leroy just said it's fine. We can still do it from home.
Right, good, good. Yeah, I think you will. I think you will. I know AWS is also quite popular in the UAE. Yeah, but yeah, if it's not there, as Pedro rightly said, you shouldn't have that fear as long as you have the bandwidth covered. And then also I'll add, as long as you are not using your company's, if you're using any company's laptop, don't use that, because any laptop you need for the exam you should have administrative rights on it, because they may need you to shut down some services before doing the exam. And if you cannot shut them down, okay, you may have an issue. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hello, Ban.
Yes.
Hello. Yeah, please. I have a question. Like, do you have some kind of specifications on the type of laptop you would need for this course also? So if
for the course?
Yeah, maybe need a specific some specifications in terms of the IQ and things for the laptop.
Right. No, really, almost any lab that you can watch YouTube with, so I'm just talking about most laptops these days have about 8 GB RAM, right? So any laptops, but even if you have, as long as you're able to go online and watch videos, that's where I'll make it simple. It's already good enough, because it's not the material that will be covered. Even the labs will be browser based, right? So that means if you have access to the internet and you can, on the web pages can look very well, that's enough, because cloud computing, remember, will be having resources running somewhere else and we'll be accessing them through the internet. So if you can access the internet, that's already good enough. So it's not, yeah, so I would say, if you still look for specification, I'll say, and then most of the laptops these days have about 8 GB RAM. Space will not really matter. 500 gigabytes is most what laptops have today. This is really strange, because in 2002, having 2 gigabit on your computer of storage space was a big time luxury. But today, laptops comes with almost 1 terabyte. So if you have about 250, space is not really, as your operating system is running well, you are good enough. So Windows, yeah, most people are comfortable with Windows. But for those who maybe want to explore and have a laptop that, or have a computer that runs with Linux, I would say it's a big plus, So, but Windows is good for a start. So specifications, just have Windows, a laptop of about 8 GB RAM, internet connection, you'll be fine. Take care.
All right, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Yeah, and just a note there I just mentioned Linux there personally, and I want to just highlight this. Those are some of the things you wouldn't be taught except you have a course. And my attitude of learning Linux was, I had I started off by installing both operating systems. You can do that, right? And you can go to YouTube to see how to install, let's say, Ubuntu and Windows operating system to be running on the same machine. And since I was really, the fact that Windows systems are free, Linux systems, they have most of their distributions come online free. They are very powerful, just like Windows. I was trying to explore more on this, and I had Linux running. And then everything I was trying to do, I used to try to do it on Linux. And once I got used to, and very few things I'll go back to do on Windows. And after some time, I've been running Linux and using Linux systems for almost 10 years now. I've never I use Windows if there is something that for example, I have a virtual DJ software that runs only on Windows system. So if I have to use that, I have to use my Windows system. But apart from that, I use mostly the Linux system. And if you can do that, it will help you learn Linux faster. And then, yeah, it will improve your knowledge, because again, if you go and look at job specifications, you always see that Linux always come up. That's something Cham mentioned. Linux is always mentioned. So even if you are doing a Linux course, if you have Linux system as well, you see, and you push yourself to always use Linux, you will find it well after very soon, you get very comfortable with it. So that's what I'll highlight. All right. Yeah, I think we're almost coming to the top of the hour. If you have no questions, I hope this introductory session and start was helpful to you. It helped you get started. I will share again the course outline just for your reference, so that you can be looking at it and knowing when the classes are coming. Of course, it's every Monday and Tuesdays, 5:30 to 7 a.m. You will see the different instructors there by name, and it can help you orientate. And maybe if you need to buy the Udemy course from Stefan Marek and buy the Tutorials Dojo, you can buy that immediately, especially when you have what is called Black Friday. These courses are always very cheap. It could be a point where you buy them and have them for later on. Yeah, so I think we can leave it here, right?
Uncle Ben, I have a question, please.
Yes,
the
please.
link you have for Linux on the PDF you said you were going to share, is that the Linux there free or?
No, this one is not free, but if you need a free course for Linux, I can share one now to get started. And then, yeah, that's a good question, Elsie. I know I did share that or recent to someone. But this one is just very pure. It's on Udemy. You just need to have a Udemy account. I encourage people to have that as well. And then, yeah, you can look at it. I think I have it on my tablet, if it's still on. Yeah, I'll share the Linux course on our group. I see my tablet is off at the moment. I'll share that on the group, I'll see.
Okay, thank you. And the one that is free, is it just basic? And if you want to go deep dive, which one do you recommend?
Yes, that course is free. It's more of basic, so it's a gentle introduction. And then if you want to go deep dive, I would recommend that you then do the course that is on the PDF file. It's from one guy, one offering called Code Cloud. Yeah, so they normally when you register on the website, you pay monthly. So you may pay $12, and if you finish your course in 1 month, then that's fine. If not, you'll be paying $12, for example, or yeah, per month until you finish that. Yeah.
Do you also have a recommendation for a Udemy course that is deep dive?
On Linux? I can look at that. Yeah, if you prefer, but in Udemy, I can just look at that and also ask around and then share.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. But I'll share the free course where everyone can get started, and the paid one will come later.
Okay.
Great. Yeah, so I'll encourage everyone to always join, let's say 5 minutes before 5:30, so that at 5:30 straight, we always start. So I'll always have the link on immediately so that we don't wait, because 5:30 immediately, I'll try to start. And the same with all the instructors, so that we cover the material, have questions and answers at the end. And anyone who comes a bit late will then have to catch up the recordings. And then, of course, I know it takes time for people also to be early, and I won't want to keep them waiting here. So that's how we'll leave it today. If there's no other question, and looking forward to seeing you all tomorrow. And the PDF file will be shared, and try to look at the videos as well as do the assignments if you can. Yeah, encourage you to. Okay. Thank you. Have a great day, everyone. And a good night to you, Silas and Elsie. I know it's late for you. Yeah.
Thanks a lot, Ben. Thanks a lot.
You're welcome. Have a
Thank
great
you
day.
so
Bye-bye.
much. Yeah, bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.